one of the things that puzzles me in some sense is why doesn't Russia conceptualize itself as part of the West? Like, why does Russia insist upon viewing itself as an entity independent of the West, especially given the fact that it isn't exactly obvious that Putin is an admirer of what happened under Lenin and Stalin in the Soviet Union. And so I don't understand why we have to have this notion that it's Russia against the West. It's why he doesn't trust the West. We don't trust him. Like, what's the dynamic? I know they're trying to find a fourth way or something like that philosophically in Russia. Why are we in this situation where Russia doesn't conceptualize itself as part of the West?
I love this question. This is great because you let me get in, do some of my nerdly historian stuff here. To begin with, Russia has never considered itself fully part of the West. When Peter the Great broke a window into Europe, in the magical phrase of Pushkin, by establishing St. Petersburg, Peter attempted, who is one of Putin's two great heroes in Russian and Soviet history, the other one being Stalin. Peter was trying to Westernize Russia. And ever since then, there has been a debate within Russia about whether Russia really is Western or part of the West, or whether it is something else. In the 19th century, this manifested itself particularly in the distinction, in the divide in Russian intelligentsia between Westerners and Slavophiles. And you had people like Leo Tolstoy arguing for the inherent, Russian soul as being distinctive and unique. From the end of the Napoleonic Wars on, Russia politically has regarded itself as something more than European. And the acquisition of Russian Asian territories, among other things, in the 19th century has led Russians to see themselves as European. And also, throughout the 19th century, obviously, the West was Europe. The United States was not a big player in being the West. In the 20th century, it's hard to know exactly where Russia would have gone, except that Bolshevism, which triumphed in 1917, was an explicit rejection of the Western political economic model and a move in a different, unique direction. So there is a narrative of Russian uniqueness, and there is an inherent sort of Russian messianism, and the messianism actually goes all the way back to Ivan the Terrible.